Welcome back to Namaste Node.js Season 2. And now we are going to start building our project, which is DevTinder. We are going to start everything from scratch. We are going to create our repository from scratch. And let's just start writing code in this episode. I am super excited. Hope you are also super excited. So just take down notes, whatever the notes you can take. And also you have to code along. So grab your laptop and just get ready with all your focus to start building our project. Okay, we are going to start from the scratch. So let us just create our repository. Let us just create a project and let us just create a new folder first of all. Okay, I am starting everything from scratch. I'm not going to use any boilerplate. I'm not going to use any template. I'm not going to use any existing source code. No, everything right from scratch. Each and every file, each and every line I will write, I will explain it to you. I will try to dive as much deep as I can. I will try to explain as much as I can. Just keep grabbing all the knowledge that comes to your way. Okay, so let's just get started. Let's create a new folder first of all. Cool. And name this folder as dev tinder. Okay, let's call this as dev tinder, right? And also let's give it the name backend, right? BE. Or let's give it backend, right? Because we will create another project for DevTinder frontend and we will create another project for DevTinder backend. I told you, right? We'll create two microservices. So the first one is backend, the second one is frontend. Or just let me name backend as DevTinder only, right? Okay. Let's keep the folder name whatever you wish to. I'm just keeping it DevTinder to keep it very simple. Okay, and now let me just open this folder up in my VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is the code editor that I'm going to use, right? This is the code editor. If you don't have this Visual Studio Code, download it please, right? VS Code. Now, how do you start building a project, right? First of all, you have to define the configuration of the project. You have to initialize the project. How do you initialize the project, right? First of all, let me open the terminal over here, right? Do you know how to open the terminal over here? So to open the terminal, you press the control button and then press the tilde button, which is just below the escape button, right? ESC button on the top left of your keyboard. I'm just pressing it. It opens up the terminal, right? So it is handy if you remember the shortcut. It's very handy. If you want to close the terminal, open the terminal, just keep pressing that, right? Or another thing, you can go on the top, go to terminal and just open a new terminal, right? You can open it like that too. Okay, so we have our terminal open over here, right? So we can use this terminal now. So in this terminal, inside your project folder, just write npm init, right? This will basically initialize your project, and let's do this and see what happens, right? It will ask us for some inputs, right? And we'll give those inputs to define the configuration of our project. I have hit the enter. Now it is asking me some questions, right? The question is, what is the name of the package? Right? So what is the name of the package? I'm just keeping it empty, dev tinder. Okay, let's go ahead. It is asking me for the version 1.1.0. It's okay. Description, if you want, you can write some description. Let's call this as Tinder for devs, right? Just give it whatever description you want to. Entry point, right? You can give whatever. So basically, don't touch it, right? Keep the entry point as index.js. For now, it does not matter for us, right? So just hit enter. The test command, do you have some test cases written? So we are not bothered about the test command as of now. We are not bothered about the Git repository. Later on, I will set it up. But right now, I don't want to give any Git repository. Keywords, if you want to add, you can add some keywords, Node.js, maybe, and JavaScript, maybe, right? Whatever you want to give, right? Backend or whatsoever, right? Keyword, and then author, let me give the author name if you want to, right? And you give the license, and then is this okay? Yes, right? What this will do now, it just created a new file in your folder, which is known as package.json, right? This is a JSON file, and it is basically a configuration file that this command has created for you, right? So basically, when you do npm init, it is not doing some fancy stuff or it's doing something very heavy inside the backend. No, it's not doing anything. It is just creating a new file for you, which is named as package.json, and it is adding the configuration, this JSON configuration to your project. That's it. And what is the use of this file? This file basically is kind of like a index for your project. You have that index, right, in your notebook or in your study book, right? Whatever book you read, you have an index, right, where it tells you more about the book, isn't it? So something like that, it tells the more, it is basically the metadata associated with this project, right? So basically, just like what is the name of the project, what is the version, what is the description, and what is the author, and all these things, right? So it's basically a simple metadata, and that's how you initialize a node project. Right? So we have initialized our node project. Let us just start writing code now, right? To write any piece of code, you need to create another JavaScript file, isn't it? And let me tell you, before I write any code, let us create a famous folder, which is known as SRC folder. You might have seen this SRC folder in all the projects, right? I don't know if you create Java project, if you create Node.js, if you create any projects you create this SRC folder for your source code. I don't know who set this nomenclature of creating this SRC folder, but you will see it everywhere, right? So let's just use the same nomenclature. Otherwise, let me tell you, right, you can just name it whatever you wish to, right? It does not matter much, but let's create SRC folder because that's how it is. That's how the world works, right? So let's create this SRC folder, and then let us also create a app.js file. This app.js file is the starting point of your application, right? App.js file is the starting point of your application. That means this is the main core JavaScript file where you will write all the Node.js code. Are you understanding that or not? Right? Here we will initialize our app. Here we will write our code. Got it? So this is just a normal JavaScript file. You can write any piece of JavaScript code over here. Let us just try to write it and run some code. Console log, starting a new project, right? Something like this. Just give any name you wish to, right? And how do you run this file? You already know that. How do you run this file? In season 1, we have learned it already. Just write the command node and then the path of the file, src and then app.js. You run it and it logs something onto the console. We have created our first Node.js program. Right? What is Node.js program? It's just writing some piece of JavaScript code. Node.js is taking up, compiling up all the code and then giving it to the V8 engine and it's running the JavaScript code, right? That's how Node.js works. This is what we have learned in season 1, isn't it? But we are here to not just do console log, we are here to create DevTinder. Right? We are creating the backend for DevTinder. What is the backend for DevTinder? Remember in the last episode we talked about APIs. We have to create a server, right? So we will do all of it. Don't you worry, my dear friends. Right? So how will we create DevTinder is, first we are creating to create backend. We need to create a server so that we can listen to the request of other users. Okay. So let me just keep explaining you also whatever I am doing in the theory, right? So right now we created a project, but we need to now create a server. Okay, how do you create a server? Assume that this is a server, right? You will create a server and you will listen, right? You will listen on the server. When you listen, right, then you will basically be accepting the incoming request from outside world, right? Then you will be able to accept the incoming request. Once you create the server, right? Once you create the server. So how do you create the server? For that, we have created a basic server in in season 1 also, right? In episode 12, I guess, right? Somewhere towards the end, we created a server. Now we are going to create another server over here, but this time we will be using Express.js. We will be using the famous Express.js for creating our server. What is Express.js? Right? Let me just go to the browser and show you expressjs.com. Right? This is the Express.js fast, unopinionated, minimalist web framework for Node.js. So basically, it's like a Node.js framework. It helps you create server, right, on your Node.js application, and then we can run this application onto our system, right? And then it will be, and then we will listen, right? And then anybody can send request to us, right? It might be sounding a little complicated to you, but once I do it, it will be very easy for you. Okay, so let's create our first server. Are you ready for that? Right? Are you ready to create a first server? Basically, right? Let's just do it. But first of all, we will need to install this Express.js, isn't it? How will we get this Express.js into our project, right? How do we get it? So, Express.js is available on the npm store, right? If you go to Express.js, so if you'll go to npm website, you will find Express.js over here, right? And you just have to write npm install express, right, to install this library, right? Basically, this is the Express library that we are going to install. Basically, it's one and the same thing. If you will see over here, you can also do npm install express, right? So let us just install Express into our project. How do you do it? You can write npm I express, or you can even write npm install express. It's one and the same thing, okay? There is no difference between both of these commands, right? You can write whatever you wish to. Let me just write npm I express because that's what I do, right? Once you install Express.js, then you will see something amazing happening inside our project. What happened over here? Somehow, we got something known as node modules over here, right? This node modules came up suddenly. And we also got this another file which is package lock.json, right? We remember package.json. We know app.js. These are the two files that we created, isn't it? Package.json, app.js. But we did not create this package lock.json. We don't know where this node modules came from. What are all of it? What are these two files? What is node modules? What is package lock.json? Many students don't know about it. If you are a senior developer or if you have been writing some JavaScript code, then you might already know this. But a lot of students don't know about node modules and what is the use of package lock.json. What is this? What is node modules? Let me explain you quickly before we go ahead. So see, first of all, let me tell you one by one. The first thing that happened was a node module folder was created, right? And see, what were we doing? We were trying to install Express into our repository. We were trying to install Express.js into our code, right? When we do that, when we write the command npm install Express.js, so what happened is all the source code of Express.js came inside and just went into the node modules folder. If you will see over here, you will find Express.js over here, right? If you will see over here, Express.js, right? You will find Express.js over here. Where is Express? It might be here. Yes, see. All the code of Express.js, right? See this, the code of Express.js, all this code has come over here. Do you see this? This is the exact same code which you will find over here on npm. This is the exact same code. This lib file, history.md, license, readme, index, package.json, history, index, license, package.json, readme. You will find all the code of Express.js. We have basically downloaded the code of Express.js into our system. Got it? This is what happened, right? So this is where, so node modules is a place where whenever we install some package, it just gets the code from the internet and puts it over here into our folder so that we can use it. Remember, let me just explain it to you once again. When you write npm install express, it downloaded all the Express code and it has put it inside your node modules folder so that you can use it whenever you wish to. This is what happened. Okay, one more interesting thing that happened inside the package.json was, if you will clearly see, we did not added this, and this dependencies was not here. This dependencies object was not over here. So when we did npm I, whenever I do npm I and install a package, so what happens is Node.js basically, npm basically added this express as the dependency of our project. What is a dependency? See, I am telling you a lot of theory, but this theory is very important. I am going very slow, going very small things I am telling you, because a lot of people don't know about these small things. Okay, I want to talk about everything that is coming into my head. What is a dependency? See, dependency means any package which your project is dependent on, right? Your project cannot run without these dependencies, right? So suppose if I am using Express in my project, so this is the place, this configuration file package.json is the place which tells basically what are the dependencies of this project. We have the dependency as Express. Our project is dependent on Express, right? So this happens inside package.json. Got it? So this is what comes, right? Automatically, when you will install any package, this will automatically be added to your dependencies. Got it? So this is the main reason for dependencies, and all these dependencies are installed in your node modules folder, right? That is why we saw Express over here. That is why we saw Express over here, right? Where is Express? Here. Got it? But I have an interesting question for you, my dear friends. If Express was our project's dependency and we downloaded it, this much I understood. But Akshay, you can ask me a question that, but Akshay, what are all these other folders? What is this accepts? What is this body parser? What is this call bind? What is this cookie? I did not install it. Where did this code come from? Where did this code come from? Let me explain you, my dear friends. Just like our project has a package.json, right? Just like we have a package.json in our project, and its dependency is Express. So when I do npm install, so it install the dependency Express. Now this Express came inside node modules. Similarly, Express library also have some dependency and also has a package.json. See, this package.json is inside Express. If you'll see this package.json of Express, you will find the dependencies of Express. See this. See, our project is dependent on Express and Express is dependent on some libraries. This is what is beauty of open source, isn't it? Express.js is an open source framework of Node.js, right? So basically, our project is dependent on Express and Express is dependent on other NPM libraries, right? So suppose if I am installing Express in my laptop, right? Suppose if I am installing Express into my project, so all the dependencies of Express needs to also be there, isn't it? Because Express.js is dependent on body parser, array flattening, accepts, body parser. So all these dependencies were also installed and all of them came inside Node.js. If you will see array flatten, you will find array flatten over here. So why did this array flatten came in? Because it was a dependency of Express. And suppose if this accepts also has a package.json and it also has dependencies of MIME type, this will also be installed. This will also be installed, right? So do you understood this? Do you understand this? See, MIME types, right? You will see MIME types also. So basically, whenever you are installing any library, all of that library code will be inside node modules, and the dependencies of that module will also be installed. And if that dependencies are there, they will also be installed, and all the dependencies hierarchy, that whole chain, that whole tree will be installed in your system, right? And when I say install, that means it will be downloaded and put inside this node modules, right? So this node modules become so big, right? See this, how much code we have just got by just writing npm install Express. So much code we have got in our system or in our project already, right? And sometimes, in bigger companies, in bigger projects, this node module folder become very, very big. Suppose if your project is using like 10, 20 dependencies, or maybe some big project also use like hundreds of dependencies. So suppose if you have hundreds of dependencies and those dependencies have their own dependencies and their own dependencies, right? So it becomes a clutter and node modules become so heavy, right? There are node module jokes also, right? One famous node module memes is also there, right? Let me just search for it. Node modules meme. I really love that. Yes, this one. See this. This is a very famous node modules meme. See, heaviest object in the universe, sun, neutron, black hole, and node modules, right? Do you see this? This is a very famous meme over here, right? So, very famous meme, right? I really enjoy this meme. Now I don't laugh at it because it's no more funny to me, but I always refer to this meme whenever I have to explain Node.js, node modules. Okay, so node modules can grow very big, right? Because it has all the code of all the dependencies. Got it? So let's just move ahead now. I think I'm going a little slow. I wanted to go slow, but let me just go a little more faster now. Okay, now node modules we understood. What is this package lock? Right? We have seen package.json. What is this package lock.json? What is this package lock.json? We understood node modules. We understood package.json. What is this package lock? And why are these two different files, package lock or package.json? This can be a very famous interview question also. Right? You should know. You know why I know all of this? A lot of Node.js developers, there might be so many developers, JavaScript developers, they are using this in daily basis, but they don't know the difference between them. You should know it, my dear friends. If you are a Namaste Node.js student, you should know everything, whatever you are writing, whatever folders you are dealing with, everything, these small things you should know. Curiosity should be there. In season 1, I was telling you, right? Be curious about every small thing. That, wow, what is this package.json? How is it different than package.json and package-lock.json? What are the difference between the two? Why do we have a node modules folder? Why we are seeing so many things inside node module folder? And if you will see, you have a .bin folder also, right? Do you know what is this bin folder? Find it out, right? Be curious. I can't tell you like every small damn thing, right? Otherwise, this course will become infinite, right? But try to find out everything. I want to see, I can teach you Node.js without even telling you any single thing about all of it, right? I can just start writing code and start building APIs. But I want to take a moment to explain you these small damn things because I want to put the seed of curiosity into your head. I want you to be really very curious about the subject, about these small nitty-gritty details. Beauty lies in these nitty-gritty details, isn't it? You know, being curious has helped me in my life and I want you all to be very curious. Ask good questions. Ask good questions. You have internet with you. Find answers on internet. Everything will be available. Everything. Now you even have ChatGPT and all these LLM models, right? All these AI and all. You can ask a lot of questions to them. Why not? Just fulfill your curiosity. Be curious and you will become a very good developer. Trust me. Right? Let's just move ahead. Let me explain you what is package-lock.json. See, before I explain you what is package-lock.json, let me explain you what is package.json, right? What happened inside this package.json. See, now I understood that, okay, we have dependencies and we have Express as a dependency. But what is this? What is this? What is this sign? 4.19.2. Now you will say, Akshay, this is the version of Express.js. Yes, this is the version of Express.js. But what is this sign in front of it? What is the significance of this sign? And you know what is this sign called? This is known as caret, right? C-A-R-E-T, caret. Got it? This sign is known as caret. Why do we put this sign? And is that sign really important? Can I just remove this sign? Will this work? All these questions should come into your mind. If they are not coming, then you are not learning properly. Okay? So I can't go in all the details. You have to do your own homework also. I can give it to you as a homework. But let me just quickly explain you what is the role of caret. See, for that you will have to go one level deep and you will have to understand how these versions are numbered. Have you ever thought that, okay, what is the meaning of this number? Why are the versions always in 3 digits, right? You call this as 4.19.2. What is the meaning of this? When I say 1.0.0, what is the meaning of that? Why is it in 3 columns? Why it is not just version 20, 30, 40, just a normal numeric? Why are these in 3? Why are these separated by 2 dots? Why? What is the reason for it? You should have curiosity about everything. I think I am taking a lot of time, but let me just quickly explain you this, right? Because this is coming to my mind and I will not be able to sleep properly if I don't tell you this, right? So let me just quickly tell you. See, what do you mean by versions, right? Version of a package. When you say that, okay, Express over here is, right, Express over here has the version of, right, 4.19.2. What is the meaning of these versions? Right? Let me tell you the version. So, suppose if you have this version 4.19.2, so this represents, right? Sorry. See, all of these 3 things represent different things. Right? So, this represents patch, this represents minor version, this represents patch version, this represents minor version, this represents major version. What do you mean by that, right? What do you mean by that? Let me just explain you. Suppose if Express.js, see, Express.js is a library which is being constantly updated. There are developers who are working on building Express.js, right? They are daily pushing out code. They are daily releasing the new versions of Express. Right? Express would have also started from 1.0.0 and then it has slowly moved to come to 4.19.2. How? Why? So let me tell you, see, how do people decide? Now I am going very, very deep, but then, okay, let me take some time. Sorry if this video is getting a little longer, but then I am trying to speak my thoughts out because so many things are coming into my head right now. Okay, I want to explain everything to you. Why? Right? How the team will decide whether I should go to 1.1.0, should I increase the version from 1.0.1, or should I go to 2.0.0? What does it mean? And where till where it goes? Let me explain you how this versioning works. Right? So whenever a project is started, it starts from 1.0.0. Right? Now, this bit represents a patch. What do you mean by patch? Right? Patch means, suppose if you are building the project, and you do a small bug fix and you push it, right? If you are putting a patch, suppose if you want to just do a very small change, that is known as a patch, right? Small change and maybe a bug fix or something, right? Very small change, that is known as a patch. If you are doing a very small change and putting inside the Express or some repository, you will just increase the version to 1.0.1. Okay, you will increase this number. Suppose if you are doing a minor change, what is this minor change? Suppose if you are pushing some features inside Express, right? Suppose if you are pushing some features inside your project, right? But those features are not backward compatible. What do you mean by backward compatible now? Right? See, this is the problem with teaching, right? I sometimes as a teacher feel so burdened because see, if I start explaining you and diving deep into every small things, then it, something comes from the other thing, then other thing, right? I was explaining you package.json and then I came to versioning, then I came to, right, minor change, patch and all of it. Now I am telling you how the versions are upgraded. It's, you can just, I am now telling you what is backward compatibility. Oh my God. This is so tough to explain, but let me just try to explain it very briefly, okay? But otherwise I will just go in an infinite teaching loop, right? Just like you go into infinite learning loop, I will go into infinite teaching loop. Oh my God, it's so tough for me. Let me explain to you, okay? So this version is 4.19.2. Okay, so I'll just explain you, okay? So I'll just explain you from the perspective of Express.js, okay? So Express.js. See, Express.js is being used by thousands of developers and libraries, right? And after some point of time, see, we have also installed a version of Express.js, isn't it? Right now we installed it in our package, right? The code. So now, suppose we have installed the version 4.19.2. Got it? And similarly, there would be so many other developers who would be having their own version. Some people would be having 4.0.1, 4.18.2. Some people would be having even 3.0.1 or something, right? Older versions, right? So why and how does these versions change? Suppose if Express has to push a patch, right? Suppose the Express has to put some patch now. They are on version 4.19.2, but they want to do a bug fix. They want to push a very small change. So what they will do, they will release the next version 4.19.3. Got it? They will release the version 4.19.3. But suppose now the Express team is also working on releasing a new feature. Suppose they are releasing a new minor feature, right? So now to release that feature, they will update this bit, right? They will change it to 4.20.3, right? For a minor change. When I say minor, that means after releasing version 4.2.3, things will still be backward compatible. So what is the backward compatible meaning? Suppose if our project is running on 14.19.2 and Express latest version is 4.20.3. Now I saw that, okay, my project is using 4.19.2 and this new version is 4.20.3. So if it is not a major version change, suppose if it was 5.20.3, right? Then it would have been very, 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 very critical change for me to do, right? Because the major version is only updated when the changes will break the existing repositories, right? Major version is updated when breaking changes are there. Did you understand or not? I don't even know whether you understood it or not, but let me just quickly explain it to you once again, right? Very simply I will explain, right? Because it becomes very complex in my head also. See, suppose if you are running Express 14.19.2 and Express came up with a new version 4.19.3. So it is safe to install. This version is safe to install. Why? Because it is just a small patch change. It will not break our DevTinder project. Okay. So suppose, let me give an example. This DevTinder has the version 4.19.2. Now I just want to, I am just working on it. And after a month later, this 4.19.3 came in. So I can safely update and upgrade my project to this new version. Safely. Because it is just a very small patch change. Suppose if a new version came in 4.20.3, can I do it? Yes, I can still upgrade it because it is just adding new features into Express, but it is backward compatible. This minor version is backward compatible. That means backward compatible. That means if I am releasing this, so any project that is using 4.x.x, this version will work on any library, that any project that is using 4.x.x, right? It is always safe to update it, right? So you can go to 4.20.3, it will just add new features to it, but it will not do a breaking change. But suppose if Express.js is changing something internally, which will affect any people who are using 4.x.x, so they will upgrade this major version, right? That is why we call this as that if you are upgrading your libraries, right? If you are upgrading your dependencies, so be very careful if you are moving to 5 point something, because it can break your existing applications. Got it? So this is the major version upgrade. This is the minor version upgrade and this is the patch. Got it? Now, what is the use of this tilde? Caret. And instead of this caret, you can also use a tilde. You can also use a tilde. What is the meaning of all of them? Right? Do you know the meaning of all of them? Do you know the meaning of all of them? Why would you know? Right? Just Google it. Okay? Be curious. Google about it. But let me tell you in brief, right? Because I will not get sleep if I won't tell you. See, when you do a caret, right? Caret 4.19.2. That means our project will automatically be updated if any of the new version comes in 4.x.x series. Right? If there is any patch change, if there is any minor change, then just upgrade our project to the newer version. Suppose, let me tell you an example. If over here in my package.json, I am writing tilde 4.19.2. That means, suppose if tomorrow a new version of Express comes in 4.20.2, then my project will automatically be updated. By using this tilde, I am just allowing my project to auto update to 4.4.x.x newer version. Whatever the latest 4.x.x is. X.x can be anything. 4.20.4, suppose 4.30.1 came in, right? All of them will be automatically updated, right? Suppose over here I don't put this. This means that my project will always use 4.19.2. It will never auto update. It will never auto update. Got it? And if you use the tilde, that means something very different. Now this is your homework. Note it down at this point of time. I will not tell you what this tilde will do. Please, please, please do your own research, right? Be curious. I want my students to be very curious. But generally, we write like this so that our project keeps updating for any patch update or any minor update. But if anything major comes in, suppose if Express 5.0.0 comes in, I don't want to auto upgrade because it will have breaking changes. Okay. So this is the reason, this is the nomenclature of this version. Now let me just quickly move ahead. What is the use of this package lock? Now, what actual version I am using is defined inside package-lock.json. See, over here, I can write 4.19.2. See, I can also write 4.0.0 over here. But my project will also always be using the latest version. So, where you will get to know, so basically, this package.json is not giving me the exact version information. If you want to, see, if it is saying me tilde 14.19.2, you are not sure that you are using 14.19.2. It can be 14.20.3 also. It might have been auto updated. So, because this version is not locked, to lock the version, you have a package lock.json, and over here, if you will go and if you will find Express, right? If you will find node module /express, now this will tell you the exact version over here. Now this will tell you the exact version over here. Got it? So this is the actual version my project is running on, and this is the version. This is the what we call it as, this is the version which we have allowed, right? With tilde, I am saying that auto upgrade. This is not the exact version. Got it? So package.lock basically tells you the exact version which your project is running on, and package.json, package-lock.json, and package.json is just telling you the nomenclature, right? What versioning system should it use? Hope you would have understood it. I have taken a lot of time into explaining just very small things, but I should move very fast now. Now, once we have the Express with us, we know what is inside node modules, we know what is inside package lock, we know what is inside package.json. Now let us go and create our server. Okay, shall we create our own server or not? Shall we create our own server or not? Let's just do it. First of all, what we will do, we will just import, or we will just require Express into our app. We have just installed Express, isn't it? I will do a require and I will do Express. Now this Express, you know where it is coming from? It is coming from C. It is coming from your node modules, isn't it? So the code that came up inside the node modules, I am referencing. Whenever I am doing require, I am basically referencing to that Express folder over here. Got it? And now I am taking this Express. Now what I will do, how do you create? Now I will create a new application of Express. How will I do that? I will do constant app is equals to, I will call this Express function. Okay, and when I do this, I am creating a new Express.js application. This is the instance of an Express.js application. Now, this app is basically creating, now basically this is like creating a new server onto your using the Express framework. You are creating a new web server. Right? And now, when I create a new web server, right, just like we create a new web server, I will have to call listen over here. I have to call listen over here, and I have to listen on some port so that anybody can connect to us. Isn't it? So how do I do that? I will have to do a basic thing, app.listen, and I will have to give a port number. Let's call this as 3000. And now, once I do listen, and if I run this code, how do you run this code? Let's just run this code, and you will be amazed to see, right? Let me just go to src and app.js, and you will be amazed to see that, see this, my cursor is waiting over here and it is listening on a server. I have created a server, web server on the port 3000, and my app is listening on that server. How amazing this is. Just 3 lines and I have created my web server. Now, my web server is not doing anything because I have not written any code over here. But what I am trying to say is we have created a server, my dear friends. Appreciate this. A lot of things are, when we do this Express and we call this function, a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. A lot of internal packages are being called. Lot of things are happening inside your operating system. I showed you the diagram, right? In season 1, that what happens when you create a server, right? So all of that happens. Got it? Now, we have created the server, but it is not doing anything, right? Let me just also show you whether you did not even get to know whether we created a server or not. See, when you call this listen method, it gives you have to pass in the port over here. What port you want your application to be running on. Okay. Now I want my web server. Now over here, you also have a callback function. You also have a callback function. In this callback function will only be called once my server is up and running, right? Basically, you can write server is successfully. If your server is successfully running, successfully listening on port 3000, okay? So you can write it like this. Got it? So this will only be printed if my server has been started successfully. Okay. This will only be printed. Now if I run again, so it is saying server is successfully listening on port 3000. That means our server has been successfully listening on this port. Now we are not doing anything, right? So basically we have created a server on, and it is listening on port number 3000, right? It is listening on port number 3000, but we are not doing anything about it, right? If there is any incoming request which is coming up, we are not handling it. Shall we handle it? Let's just handle it. Okay. So let's just write code for handling this up, right? Now, how do you handle the code? Let me tell you. You do app.use, right? And then you pass a function inside it, right? You pass a function inside it, and this function takes a request, REQ, and a response, right? This is what it takes. Or a good way is to use arrow functions. Arrow functions is a good way to use, right? Let's use arrow functions over here. So we have a function request response, and now I want to send the response back. I will do response.send, and let me send hello from the server, right? So now what will happen is our server has been created. This is known as, this function is known as what? Request handler. Okay. This function is known as a request handler, right? And now my server is listening on 3000 port, right? And let us just close the server and let us just start it once again, right? To refresh the code. Okay. And now once my server is listening over here, let me go back to my browser and let us go to 3000 and see if I can access anything. And do you see this amazing thing? Our server is basically responding to this incoming request, right? Do you see this amazing thing? Our server was running on 3000 port and my browser is making a request to localhost 3000, and now my server is responding hello from the server. Isn't it amazing? Amazing, right? So let me just show it to you. Suppose if I close my server, okay? I close my server, let me go to the browser and refresh the page. Site can't be reached because my server is inactive. Any incoming request which is coming to localhost 3000, it is not listening to that, right? Any incoming request is not listening to that. See this. It says site can't be reached. But suppose if my server is running, right? And suppose not on 3000, let us run our server on port 7777. Okay, because why not, right? Let's run this on port number 7777. Now server is successfully listening on port 3000. Okay, let me change it to 7777. Okay, let's change it to 7777. See, whenever you will make changes into this file, always remember that you will have to close this from here and rerun this. Otherwise your code will not be updated. Okay. So remember this thing. So I have closed this. I have run this server once again, and let us go back over here and refresh the page. It will not work because we have a port 3000, but we have to go to port number 7777. And if I go and enter it, it says hello from the server, right? So our server is now running on this port. Got it? Now we have requested something and got the response. This is how you create a server. With just 3-4 lines, I have done a lot of amazing things, right? Now my server is ready and it is handling to the request, right? It is listening to the request. But suppose if I go to some other URL, suppose if I go to /hello, right? It is again giving me the same response. Suppose if I am going to /test, it is again giving me the same response, because we have configured our server to always respond with response.send hello from the server. Whatever request comes in, we are just sending hello from the server. How can I handle different requests differently? Let me just show it to you. So in app.use, the first parameter can be a request handler. But if you write a route over here, slash, and then you give it some route, let's call this as test, right? And you save it. Now let us go back. Now let us first of all rerun this, right? Let us just rerun our server and let us go back and let us just go to the home page, right? Let us just go to the home page. It says cannot get slash. It says that we have cannot get slash. See, the server is running successfully. The server is up, but it says that cannot get slash. It cannot get any response from this slash URL. But let us just go to /test over here, hit enter. It says hello from the server. Now my server is listening on port number 7777, but it will only handle the request which has a slash test inside it. Got it? If it has a slash test inside it, that is only when it will respond. Suppose if I run anything else, right? Suppose if I do hello, it says cannot get hello. Why? Because we have not had a response handler for hello, isn't it? Can I create a response handler for hello? Right? So I can just write like this, right? I can just write another request handler and I can just name it slash hello. And now in hello, let us call this as hello, hello, hello. Right? Hello, hello, hello. So basically, now we are handling all the requests which have slash hello. Got it? So let us go over here. If I refresh the page, oh, it's not working. Why? Because I have to stop the server and run it once again. And if I go back, if I refresh the page, it says hello, hello, hello. And if I go to test, it says me hello from the server. And if I go to this URL slash, it says cannot get slash because we have not defined anything on slash. If I defined anything on slash, right, or maybe the home page, right, basically let's just use this, right? You can just keep adding whatever you want to, whatever paths you want to listen to, right? You can just add it and you can just say hello from the dashboard, right? Hello from the dashboard, and you refresh it. Oh, it will not. See, this is very, 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 very annoying to stop the server once again and use this, right, again and again. For this, I will do something, right? For this, I will do something. I will install NodeMon. This is very annoying, right? Again and again closing the server, again and again opening the server. So you can get rid of everything. You just have to install npm install NodeMon. Okay, so there is something known as NodeMon. Okay, let me just show it to you. NodeMon, right? NodeMon, right? This is the NodeMon. Got it? So you do this npm install -g NodeMon, right? So just do this npm install NodeMon. Don't forget to write -g. Don't forget to write -g. NodeMon, right? So when you do npm install -g, that means it is installed at a global level. See, what is the use of NodeMon? I'll tell you. First of all, just type this command. It will install NodeMon into your project, right? Into your basically system. What it says, cannot install it, right? Why? npm install -g NodeMon, NodeMon. Am I writing it correctly? It says access not denied, right? Okay. So I have to run this as a root or administrator. Just write sudo npm install -g NodeMon, because I am trying to install it at the global level, right? So that is why. And I think my system already has NodeMon, so it will say that, okay, right, it is already installed. Okay, cool. So basically packages were already there. So I have installed NodeMon over here, right? So when you do it in -g, so it will install at a global level and it will work for all the projects, right? Suppose if you create some other project, right? Basically it will not be installed on this, installed on the project level. It will installed on the system level, because you will use NodeMon in other projects also. So just install it by using -g and keep it with you, right? So now once you have installed NodeMon, I will just write NodeMon and then I will write app/src /app.js, right? And instead of node src app.js, I will run NodeMon src app.js, and now it will do the same thing. But see, now it will do the same thing. Now if I go back over here, right, hello from the dashboard, my server is running. It will also starting my server. But the best part about NodeMon is it will automatically refresh the server whenever I will make any changes to my code. Whenever I will make any changes to my code, it will automatically refresh the server. Let me tell you the example. If I'll do hello from the dashboard, okay, I'll just do hello, namaste, Namaste from the dashboard. Namaste from the dashboard. Okay. So now I will just have to, I will just have to do Command S. I'm saving the file and see it rerun the server. It has automatically restarted the server due to changes. So it is becoming, our life is becoming easier. I'll just refresh it, see it changes. If I use the previous command, node command, I will have to stop the server, restart it. Nodemon is automatically, as soon as you change anything onto the code, you save the file, it automatically refreshes the server and you don't have to like run again and again. Got it? Got it? So this is how you do it. Now, okay, so, and let me also tell you that, okay, instead of running this command again and again, you can just add this command into your package.json scripts, okay? Let me tell you, in package.json, you can go over here and in this scripts, see, we don't have a test script over here. Let me just remove it, right? And over here, I can just say, if you want to run in dev mode, right? If you want to run in dev mode, then just run it using Nodemon. Nodemon, and you can write the same command, right? And now, you can add this dev, right? And you can also run, right? If I have to run it in the dev mode, you run it using Nodemon. If I don't have to run it in the dev mode, I can just say start, right? Start and then run it using normal node and then src/app.js. Let me tell you what I'm trying to do. Right? Basically, you have added these two scripts. Now, if I will do over here, I don't have to write the commands again and again. I will just have to remember the basic command, which is npm run start. So if I will do npm run start, so what will happen? It is starting my application, but it will behind the scenes run this command. Right? Now, if I start this, so it is running using the previous method, right? It is running this command and it will not refresh my server again and again using the changes, right? Suppose if I change something, just wrote namaste, save it. And if I go back, I'll have to close the server and run again, right? To see the changes. I'll have to close the server, run again. See, if I will change namaste Akshay, right? And if I save it, my server is not refreshing over here, right? And if I go back, I will see the same output, which was there previously. But if you run using npm run dev, right? Basically, I'm running my project on npm run dev in the dev mode. So basically, behind the scenes, it is using Nodemon, right? It is using Nodemon, and now it will also refresh whenever I save anything, right? If I save anything, see, I am pressing save, it is just refreshing my server again and again, right? If I go refresh this page, it says Namaste Akshay. Got it? So this is the use of Nodemon. I'm telling you very small things, my dear friends. We have created a server. We are listening to the request. We are listening to different type of request, right? I'm listening to hello. I'm listening to say test. I'm listening to the slash, right? This is how you listen to requests. Hope you are enjoying it. Are you finding it interesting or not? This is the moment, my dear friends. You will have to pause the video over here. Pause the video, right? You have to do what else, right? Let me give you a homework, right? Let me create a new file and let's call this as homework.js, homework.txt, okay? Not JS. Or let me create a MD file, markdown file, okay? So rename it, let's create not txt, but a MD file, okay? Markdown file. So now your homework is basically, first of all, create a repository, right? You'll have to create a repository, then do install, right? Basically initialize the project, right? You know how do you initialize the project? I'll not tell you the name. I'll not tell you the command. I'll not tell you it is npm init, right? Install the repository, initialize the repository. Now you'll have to find the difference between, you should know about node modules, package.json, and package lock.json, okay? You should know everything about it and all the difference, package lock.json, Okay, the versioning, the backward compatibility, everything, right? Then we saw that. After that, we also saw how to install what you have to do. Then you have to, this is the homework, okay? You have to do your homework. Install Express, right, in your app, Express, right? Then you will have to create a server, right? After you have installed Express, you have to create a server. Then you have to listen to port number, right? Let's use some cool port number. Let's listen to port 7777, right? Then you have to make request handlers, right? You have to write request handlers. You know what is request handlers? You have to make or write request handlers. Write request handlers for /test, for /hello, right? You have to do this, right? Once you do this, then you will have to experiment, right? Then you have to install NodeMon. Install NodeMon. See what we have seen a lot of things, my dear friends, in this lecture. Install NodeMon and update scripts, right, inside package.json, right? Package.json. You have to do all of this. This is your homework. Take a pause in this video. Do this much, right? And then I will see you in the next video. We will move ahead and we will do a lot of crazy things inside this project. You know, this is just the first video. I wanted to teach you creating the basics of Express.js and how do you create a server? How do you listen to a port? Right? We will do all of it, right? So I want you all to just take this as a homework, and then I will see you in the next video. In the next episode, I will be doing a lot more amazing things. We will be handling different type of routes. We will be creating APIs. We will be connecting to database. We will be doing a lot more complex things. This video was just introduction to the code. You know, let me tell you, my dear friends, if you will see and go other tutorials, right, or other courses, their courses start from here, right? And in this series, right, in this season 2, it has been like so many episodes already, and now we are coming over here. Why? Because I want to dive deep into every small thing. I know there might be so many people over here who already know a lot of things which I told you, but there are so many developers who make mistake in these small things. If I ask you what is the difference between package lock and package.json, you don't know. What is the meaning of this caret over here? You don't know, right? What is the meaning of tilde over here? You don't know. Let me write it down as a homework also, right? Difference between caret and tilde, right? I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically difference between this caret, right? Where is the caret vs tilde. Okay, so in package, what is dependencies? You should know. These are the questions. What are dependencies? Right? You should know all of it. This is homework. What is the use of you know, these things should come -g in while npm install, right? You should know all these small things. You should have curiosity. Will you do the homework? You know, I want my students to be able to answer every small damn thing, right? So do this homework, make your notes, make a repository, GitHub repository, and put your code over there. Right? I will also put this code over there as in when I will be doing it, but do this homework. This is very, very important, and come and see you in the next episode. We will write more code. We will make APIs. We'll connect to database. We'll do a lot of interesting thing. That's all in this episode. See you in the next episode. And if you're liking it, if you are liking all of it, then I have one request. Please share about Namaste Node.js to all your friends, to your family, to your social media network. Please write a post about us on social media, on LinkedIn, on Twitter threads, on Instagram, or wherever you wish to. Help each other in the Discord community. If you haven't joined the Discord community already, please join the Discord community. It will be a great help. be a part of that premium Discord community and connect with other Node.js developers, right? They are also learning, you are also learning. Help them and take help from them, right? If you are stuck somewhere. And this is what I want to say. And please, lastly, share it on social media. It will help us grow and reach more and more people. Every share matters, no matter if you have 1 follower, 10 follower, 10,000 follower. If you will share it, I would love it. And please, whenever you are writing something on social media, do tag me. I just love to read your post. You can also, there are so many people who are, learning in public. They are sharing their knowledge on social media. Whenever they start learning, whenever they watch any video, they summarize the video and post it up on LinkedIn. That's a good way to learn, right? And learn in public. You can also summarize the learnings of this video. Maybe you can write post about all of it, right? 1 post per topic, right? Can you write 1 post per topic on LinkedIn, right? Write it up. You research, find it up, put it on LinkedIn, put it on Twitter, help other people learn, and you also learn. Okay. And this is what I want to tell you before we move to the next episode. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye. And happy learning, happy coding.